This is WBSM On Demand.
Good morning. Good morning. It's morning in America, folks. Beautiful day out there. The weather is cooperating with the national elections, is what I would say. That we have decisive victory for the Republicans. I know a lot of you work towards that goal. I'm very happy with it, and I'm very happy that it was decisive. So I hope the Democrats, I wonder when the vice president is going to concede, and I hope the Democrats don't start burning cars and all of that and resisting. That would be really unfortunate. America doesn't need that. But ask your elected officials, particularly Democrats, to cooperate with President Trump, not to try to resist him. Now, with that in mind, I've got some stuff for you folks. Now, I know a lot of you aren't on Facebook these days, and that's good. I like Facebook, but it can be overpowering. It can be overwhelming. It can also not be good for you if that's where you vent, right? Because it's a public forum, and I can read it over the air. Now, I won't read who it is. Some of it's local, some of it's not. But I'm going to start off with an email that I received from it's a Catholic college, okay? And it is a professor sent this email out post-election. This is a fresh email, folks. Now, to protect my sources, and I'm not going to tell you who the professor is or even the college, but it's a Catholic college. Anyway. So this is the email that was sent out to students at a Catholic college from a professor. Quoting, "Personally, in times of high stress, I find consolation and distraction in carrying on with routines. So I will be in class today talking about something, probably review material, but I'm aware that absorption and retention of new information is going to be really low today, in that people have widely varying coping styles. So if you'd like to have it, you can have my official permission to miss class today." This is a professor telling her students, or his students actually, that you have my permission to miss class today if that's what's best for you. Think about it, though. It's easy to get into the bad habits, like lying in bed all day, and it's hard to get out of them. So this is a professor telling students that they have permission to not come to class today, to deal with the elections, to deal with coping with the election results. Is that really how you train young men and women to cope with the real world? To tell them it's okay to not go to work, which is what your job is when you're a student? If you're writing the check for that student, if that's your child, it'd be outrageous, right? That is no way to train the new leaders. But that's what's happening now in the colleges of America. 508-996-0500. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Hey, Chris, what's going on?
You tell me.
There's a lot going on. I'll tell you that. There is a lot going on. And that email is deplorable. You want to talk about deplorable? That's a deplorable freaking email. Like, how soft do you have to? And Catholic?
Right.
Back in my day, you want to see and hear how old I can be?
All right.
Back in my day, Catholics used to hit you with rulers. Now they're pampering you with pillows. What the hell's going on with the Catholic school system? Oh my God!
Well,
anyway,
I think that is a great example of what is going on in higher education. Not merely the Catholic schools, because I'm sure that's going on. I know it's going on in the state schools, the community college, all the way up to your big universities like University of Massachusetts. So that is in academia.
I hope these kids don't get a hard boss. You know, a guy that's a little hard on them. They're gonna have to take days off. You know, that's a rough way to go through life. Like every time your boss yelled at you for something that you did, you got to take 2 days off. Oh my God, pathetic.
It's amazing, Ray.
I know you have John Deaton's ear, right? So Here's the deal. He needs to not go away. He needs to look smaller and look local and be somebody who goes into the State House and build up his political resume at the State House level, whether it be as a rep or even just, I mean, if you want to go grandiose, you can go grandiose and go for the Senate, but go for something local and then build your base from there. He has a huge email campaign and a whole slew of people who are willing to support him. And especially in Swansea and Fall River.
Ray, he won Dartmouth.
I didn't even see that. That's the other thing I wanted to talk about was what Trump did in Dartmouth. See, Dartmouth has a long history of being, pretty blue. 2016 it went blue for Clinton by like 10 to 12 points. Biden for like 5 to 10 points, something like that. The fact that Harris only brought up and won by 31 votes out of 17,000, Chris. 17,000 votes cast in Dartmouth. Harris carried it by 31. If you want to talk about why votes matter and why your get out the vote, efforts matter, that's why it matters. Because you could have literally flipped a stalwart Democratic stronghold red like it was Westport. The fact that, the other thing I saw last night was Fall River. Fall River went Trump. Fall River goes Trump and New Bedford, which is identical, basically, demographically and geographically. I mean, basically, it's pretty much the same. Why is there such a disparity between Fall River, who was Trump handedly, and New Bedford, who was Harris handed? What is the difference? What's the deal?
I can't really answer that yet because I haven't had a solid time to really analyze these numbers. But I can tell you that Deaton did really well down here in the areas that can listen to my program. Deaton did really well. He got over 9,000 votes in Dartmouth to 8,500 for the sitting Senator Elizabeth Warren. So John Deaton has got a future. Oh yeah, and I'm glad I helped him. I had that one vote. I helped Trump, and then I helped Deaton. That was very good on my end to see that my guys actually won. Oh, it's nice to be rewarded with success. It really is. I mean, if you've been a Republican, you've had a lot of failures, and Democrats have too, I guess, on the national level. But like last night was a major failure for the Democrats. I think they're going to have to rethink their entire approach. But no, John Deaton has a future in Massachusetts. 1,000%. And Donald Trump. I'm going to tell you this. Donald Trump won young male voters by going not on talk radio like political talk radio, but he went on just regular podcasts just talking about BS. Joe Rogan.
He literally went, Joe Rogan, like the most popular podcast in America. He went on there and spoke for 3 hours along with his vice president. This is what I was telling you about when John Deaton, I would love to have him just go on like sports talk radio and talk about the Red Sox coming up or talking about different, just day-to-day issues that guys around the at lunch will talk about, just BS stuff and filter in their political views, right? That gets your name out, and that's what is going to help him, project himself into the younger demographic. Because that's the future. There was a massive gender variation at the national level. Women voted for Harris, and young men voted for Trump handedly, and that's straight to how he approached them. He approached them to where they were paying attention, because they don't listen to talk radio. Young 20-year-olds don't listen to talk radio, but they listen to podcasts, and that's where he went, where their attention is.
Thanks for the call, Ray, as always. And again, I think that the postmortem on the election is not anywhere near done, right? Because it's not even really all the ballots counted yet. So we're working on all of that. But I can tell you that yesterday, for instance, I spent a lot of time with nurses and kidney techs, things like that, and they're primarily female. Actually, to a person, they're female. And no, I'm not saying they all voted for Donald Trump, but a lot of them did. And they would just tell you quietly, like, no, my mother's voting for Donald Trump. People would talk about that. I know a lot of women who voted for Donald Trump. Women in their 20s, women in their 50s. I mean, I know a lot of people. And I know, look, the big increase in the amount of Republican votes in Dartmouth, you can directly trace to the Dartmouth Town Committee, which is a lot of very active women on that committee, to include Joanne Hodgson, the better half of Tom and Joanne, right? She worked really hard in conjunction with the other women on the Dartmouth Town Committee, Republican Town Committee. When a lot of people weren't paying attention to politics, those women in Dartmouth were going after it every month. Same in Fairhaven, same in Mattapoisett. So if you're a Republican activist or you want to be, reach out to Bob McConnell, Joanne Hodgson, right? They will plug you in because there's a lot of room for activists to get involved in the different town committees. Same thing with the Democrats, quite frankly. So if you're a Democrat, like a normal Democrat, normal person, right? Like a Scott Lang or a Chris Markey, you've got to take back your party. Otherwise, it's going to disappear, quite frankly. 508-996-0500. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Hey, Chris, Ted from Acushnet.
Ted.
Hey, I was amused. I was amused by that so-called college professor's email to the students.
Yes.
I thought all the colleges had crying rooms for this purpose. I mean...
Well, maybe it's never been this bad. Ted, it's never been this bad. They've never seen it this bad. They need more than a crying room. They're just going to stay home.
Anyway, that's all I have to say today.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. But really, folks, if you didn't hear it, I'll read it later. Tom Hodge is going to be here at 11 o'clock. I got an email, someone sent it to me, from a college professor giving the students the day off because to deal with the results of the election. Imagine that you're a professor training and teaching young minds, and you tell them don't cope with the votes of your neighbors, right? Don't participate in democracy. Don't accept the results. It's okay to stay home. It is not a good sign. And obviously, that's the reason Harris lost, right? When that is your political party, it's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, stick around. We'll be right back.
Really hasn't changed.
Welcome back to the program. I'm Chris McCarthy, and that's true. You got to stand for something, or you'll fall for anything. You know who stands for something, and they're a great sponsor of the program. They stand for value at Mac Auto Sales, 188 Rivet Street in New Bedford. They repair all makes and models. So if you need to get your car ready for the coming cold weather, and I'm sure you do, call Mac Auto Sales and Repair, 508-565-6221. They're open weekdays, 9 to 5. They specialize in servicing foreign cars and helping you beat inflation. By not having to replace your car, right, you help to beat inflation. But if it is time to replace your car, ask about the quality used cars they have for sale at Mac Auto Sales. 508-996-0500. So I was reading an email from a professor sent to students saying if they're having a hard time dealing with Trump's victory, they don't have to come to class, right? She's giving them official permission. But do you think she would have sent that out, or he would have sent that out, if Kamala had won? Do you think that professor would have sent an email excusing students from coming to class to deal with the victory by the liberals? I doubt it. I doubt it. And that, my folks, is the brainwashing that goes on now in a lot of universities across the country. It's really quite shameful, to tell you the truth. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Hi, Chris. Yeah, I just wanted to ask you a question that came to my mind this morning when I looked at the total votes of both Harris and Trump. Looks like there's a 14 million vote difference between Biden and Harris. You happen to know where those 14 million votes went to?
I would assume Donald Trump.
You think so? I was just wondering. I mean, 14 million votes. It's quite a lot of votes to lose in a presidential cycle, don't you think?
It's amazing. And don't you think that Biden right now is saying, I could have done it. They shouldn't have replaced me. She pulled a coup d'etat. I would have beat him. I beat him before. I think he's got a legitimate argument to make, and he's got to be upset. All you Democrats have got to be upset with Obama and Kamala for orchestrating what happened to Biden.
Exactly. I think that down the stretch, what Kamala was spewing out of her mouth was terrible. Okay, and I think that's one of the reasons the American people spoke up hugely and got rid of this terrible administration. Terrible. And I knew on January 21st, 2021, the day after he took the oath of office, I knew I was going to vote for Trump. I said, if he runs, I'm voting for him again. And I did, and I'm happy with the win. You have a great day, Chris, and I hope you're celebrating the win as well.
You too, my friend. I do appreciate the call. Don't be a stranger. Again, we're going to have to get behind our president now, because I think the Democrats, led probably by many Massachusetts Democrats, are going to go to war with the choice of the voters, right? I mean, there was an overwhelming mandate for Donald Trump and his policies. And I think many of our elected Democrats you voted for, and I have to, Governor Healy and all the way down, are going to go to war with the American people's choice. And I don't think it's good for the country. So we got to be here to back up our president in the very difficult decisions he's going to have to make to clean out all the criminal illegal aliens that Biden and Harris imported into the country, and that you and I as Massachusetts taxpayers are subsidizing, right? We got to stand up with our president. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Yeah, good morning, Chris. How are you today?
Doing well.
Of course, I'm a happy guy today because my man won. But I truly, and I'm just not saying this, I truly want to see this country united. And I think the mainstream media in education has done a good job with their agenda, which is polarizing the country. Mm-hmm. A polarized country is not good for anyone. I'm proud of the many Latino and Black voters who saw through this and voted for Trump. I think it's time to dismantle our public education system because it's terrible. We rank 27 or 28 out of the 30 most industrial countries. We spend more money per student than all of them do. And I think with just a proper education comes proper intelligence. When Mao had the Great Revolution, one of his things was almost like our DEI, separate.
Yes.
Dumb down the students.
Most DEI programs are absolutely rooted in Maoism.
Yeah, absolutely they are. And today, I thank God. I bless this country, and I hope Trump lives up to all of his expectations, and I really believe he will.
Yes.
I think he's going to surround himself with some pretty brilliant men this time around. First time around, maybe he was fooled by some people, but I don't really think he will be this time. And, God bless America. And for you people that lost the election, look, there's hope. This is the greatest country in the world, and God bless you all.
Thank you for the patriotic words. I agree with you. Look, all through the election, they kept saying to Donald Trump, will you accept the election? Will you accept the election result? Everybody was a surrogate. Will Donald Trump accept the results of the election? Now, where's Kamala? I heard she's run off to Canada, back to Canada, I should say. I'm joking. But the left wing of this country is having a real hard time dealing with the election results. I'm going to take some more phone calls. If you want to join the conversation, you can. When we come back, I'll read more. After this next call, I'll read more from Facebook. People who are really having meltdowns. And I've got some, it's just unbelievable. People are refusing to accept the election results. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Hey, Chris, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, my friend. How are you?
Good. Hey, my sister is a special ed teacher. She works with autistic children, and she called me today. We were just gabbing a little bit this morning while she was on break. They had 5 parents call in that were keeping their children home because they were so devastated by Kamala's loss. I just found that hard to believe.
So, obviously, autistic children are different than other children, and so and they have some maybe coping problems. But I wonder if it was more the parents than the child, right? Who was really having a hard time.
That's what I would say, because that's what my sister was saying to me too. She says she was wondering if it was more the parents on it, because she said, as she's conductor of the classes, they never speak about politics. They just go about, whatever their basic schoolwork is. And she said she never had any of the children brought that up. But she found it so strange that 5 children were so devastated by the loss they couldn't come to school. I don't know. It's just odd to me.
Well, you know what's interesting about that is, and I don't want to open the conversation about vaccines, but I can tell you, and if you know people who have autistic children, a lot of them are very appreciative of Bobby Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy's work on a lot of that, the causes or believe that what the causes are for autism. And Bobby Kennedy last night, we've been hearing it all through the campaign. He endorsed Trump, and he's going to have a prominent place in the administration, nothing to do with oil policy, but with things like the things that they believe cause autism. So So I think that people who have autistic children, autistic family members, are going to find they have a receptive audience in the Trump administration.
That may well be. I know of his views on that, but I didn't really think of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
How? Well, all right, but
thank you, my friend.
Give you that little burst, no problem.
Thank you. Again, I think, contrary to what the Democrats want you to think, or not all Democrats, but the hard left, Donald Trump is a reasonable guy, and I think he generally cares for the American people. That's my belief. It's been my belief since 2016. When I was on the front page of the Standard Times explaining why I was for Donald Trump back in the 2016 election. Lisa Lemieux was there for Hillary Clinton, and I was there for Donald Trump. And it was put on by Jack Spillane when he was at the Standard Times. He's now at the New Bedford Light. So I've been with Trump since the beginning, really, since he came down that escalator. So I'm pretty excited today. And I think that it's morning in America, right? It's morning in America. And what happens, you can choose to fight the election results like the Democrats did in 2016, or you can say the people have spoken and let's get it on. Let's get to what has to get done. Because the mullahs in Iran, they're not happy with the outcome of the election, right? 508-996-0500. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Yes, it's a very good morning this morning with President Trump winning.
Yes, sir.
It wasn't even close.
No.
And this thing, and this Kamala thought, how do you say it? Kamala. Oh, okay, that's how to say it.
It's pronounced loser. It's pronounced loser.
Loser. That's right, loser.
The loser.
I'm so happy about this. I'll tell you that this was, if she would have been president, this country would have went down. We wouldn't even have a country anymore with the Biden-Harris thing. And she wants all those illegal immigrants to vote so they can vote Democrat every year. All these other policies. No oil drilling, but even buying oil from Russia, This country, President Trump was going to get this country stronger again with the policies.
I agree with you. Howard Hamm, he's a big oil driller. He actually came up with the slant drilling and all horizontal drilling. He's talking about amazing things. He's got a book out right now. I'm just almost finished with it. Guys like that are going to gravitate to Trump like they did in the first administration. Yep. And we're going to do really great things.
Yeah, instead of President Trump is going to put America first instead of Biden and Harris putting America last. Biden was just a horrible president, and
he's still the president.
They're both responsible. Yeah, I know
he's
that.
Still, I know you know, but it's crazy, right?
Sorry.
We have a president who's Meshuggah, and he, you wonder what nutty things he's going to do in the remaining months of power.
Yeah. This has been a great thing, and I don't understand the country. It's like the question you have: are you better off like 4 years ago? The country's gone down the tubes with inflation, this, that. It just goes on and on. I don't have much time to even say it.
We're here in Massachusetts living under a state of emergency caused by the federal government, right, with the illegal immigration policy. And it's thanks for the call, my friend, as always. And think about that for a second. We are being driven into bankruptcy here in Massachusetts, eating through the rainy day fund, which the supermajority of Democrats built up with Charlie Baker, that rainy day fund into the billions, right? But the governor, Healy, is chewing through it with her buddies, right? It's an amazing thing. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Under a state of emergency caused by the federal government.
Hello, you're on the air.
Oh, hi. Hello.
Hello.
Am I on
You're on the air
with Chris?
Yes, you are.
With talking to Chris? Oh, hi, Chris.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you?
Hey, so this is Cheryl Gouveia. Great conversation this morning. I'm glad that everyone went out and voted. But
Cheryl, could you turn your radio down?
Oh, yeah. Alexa, power down. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead, Cheryl. So you feeling good?
So I'm feeling good this morning. Yes, I'm glad that America went out and voted, and I'm just thrilled that we took our civic duty and we were responsible.
It's amazing, and the down ballot stuff's amazing too.
It is. It's just a good thing. It's what we should do as Americans, and I feel that's what we should do. We should unify as Americans and have some changes in this country, and I think that it's going to be a good 4 years. But I am calling to say I'm the woman that called 2 weeks ago that has the petition regarding sober homes, rooming houses, and having more oversight over them. So I'm going to be at Market Basket on Sunday about 1 p.m. So to all your listeners out there, please drop by and talk to me. I'll have the petition with me, and I'd love to share my thoughts with you and listen to their thoughts about it.
So Cheryl is gathering signatures in opposition to the increasing number of sober homes in the city of New Bedford, and I think actually throughout the region. So Cheryl, you're going to be where and when?
I am going to be at Market Basket on Sunday at about 1 p.m.
1 p.m. at the Market Basket in New Bedford. If you want to give her your opinion on sober homes, she'll be down there gathering signatures.
Yep. It's like rooming houses. We need more legislation at the state level. Our councilmen are on that, but we want to put the pressure on them to continue that. So please come by and chat with me, and hopefully I'll get your signature.
Thanks, Cheryl. I do appreciate it.
All right.
You're doing all that civic work. Because, again, that's really the grassroots stuff, right? An individual citizen says, I don't like what's going on, but I'm going to gather my neighbors, follow the process, right? Get signatures, and start putting pressure on our Republican, our republic, the elected officials who carry out the making of laws. So I like that. That's why I'll always give space to people like that here on this program. 508-996-0500. That's how you can get on the program. We've got some people on hold, but I do have one open phone line, so if you'd like to get through, you can. Take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the program. I'm Chris McCarthy, and we're reading from Facebook posts. Now, here's another Facebook post that these are people having a real hard time dealing with what you and I, their fellow Americans, did at the ballot box. So I'm not going to give you the name of the person because, this is a public forum, right? Facebook, but I'm not going to do that. I'll just read it to you. And with that, the grand experiment of the nation of hope and dreams and possibilities for all people, they capitalized the word all, comes to a screeching end. I feel badly for the women that will suffer under Trump's presidency and the nationwide abortion ban on the horizon. And I'm sad that my daughter will grow up in a world where her rights will be under attack. I feel badly for same-sex couples whose marriages will be eradicated and their ability to have recognized marriage to the person they love will be outlawed. Now, of course, he's inventing all of this. This is total mental illness, right? And this is a very successful guy, by the way. This guy is an extraordinarily successful guy. That's what I understand. And he's married to a friend of mine. Well, I mean, he's married into the family of a friend of mine. So I feel badly for the immigrants, legal and otherwise, that will be placed into detention camps or forced to carry papers to prove their citizenship and constantly be under the spotlight as someone our country doesn't welcome. I feel badly for the children. As Trump said, his health czar RFK dismantles the healthcare system to eliminate vaccines that would otherwise prevent illness and death. We will get to see the rise of diseases that have been eradicated. Polio will again be on the march, right? I feel badly for anyone who relies on social programs like Social Security and Medicaid, as those programs fall victim to Musk's purging and cost-cutting of entitlements. I feel badly for anyone who relies on health care access through Affordable Health Care Act, as Trump and his allies discard that in favor of going back to the abusive health care system. So, folks, these are people's Facebook posts. Normally intelligent people who have lost their mind over what you and I did yesterday. 508-996-0500. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Chris?
Yes,
this calls for a celebration. This is your unofficial co-host, Sam.
Sam, how you doing? Good.
Congratulations to everyone who was on the Trump bandwagon. And, I was listening before. I kind of popped in and out, but I think they might try to pull something by putting Kamala in as president. I think she's going to need a huge retirement and pension because I don't know what she's going to possibly qualify to do after this. Evidently, McDonald's is off the chart. She's not going to get a job back there. No. So I don't know. That's pretty amazing that someone is allowing the presidency to affect their personal life that bad. I don't think anyone could get that much done in a 4-year term, even if they had all the power in the world, right? That's a pretty entitled list to try to get all those things done.
Oh, he's got a big list of things he's got to do, including unrolling a lot of things that Biden and Harris did. Like we got to get all these criminal illegal aliens out of the country. We got to get them out.
One other quick thing. I think Kamala lost it with these last negative ads. I mean, it was making me ill to watch these ads. I mean, the lies that were coming out, just the accusations. I mean, the whole thing on Germany and Hitler, and where did they come up with that stuff? I mean, did they actually think that people had a reason to even bring that stuff up? I don't understand where they get this stuff from.
Here's the thing. They are abusive to their own followers. In other words, you don't believe it, I don't believe it, but they know that people who believe them will believe whatever they say. So in an effort to motivate their base, they make up scurrilous lies about people and call them Nazis. They have been calling Nazis Republicans, Nazis, back to 1964 with Barry Goldwater, who, by the way, was partially Jewish, right? Barry Goldwater. And he was a Republican nominee in 1964 against Lyndon Johnson. And they labeled him a Nazi. They've been doing it since then. But it's not you and I who believe it, but it's the people who legitimately believe the Democrat Party. They fall for that stuff. And that's what's so abusive. What's so weird about it. They're so abusive to their own voters. By scaring
it's hard to believe that they can just believe that stuff. You know, it's like, I mean, some of the stuff has really been crazy. It's really been out there, and I think, how is it that they can stand there and actually think that that's going to happen?
Well,
you know,
but here's the thing:
I just don't get it.
If you trust somebody, thanks for the call, Sam. What makes it so abusive is they are elected officials who've been given power by their supporters. And they take that power in an effort to gain more power and to retain their power. And they use that to make up lies and scare their own supporters into madness. That's my point. It's all madness. 508-996-04. We'll be right back. I was with the outlaw. America was with the outlaw last night. That sounds like the raid of Mar-a-Lago, right? They got him for possession of something that was gone, classified documents. I mean, folks, I'm with the outlaw. I voted for the outlaw yesterday. Did you vote for the outlaw? Good morning. Thanks for holding.
This old man and me met at a bar, and we
Yes, sir.
started telling the story. You stick with that country music, right? You might just get those pathetic assholes in a frame of mind that they would move their ass to South Carolina, you see, where they can live free and where they can now listen to me.
All right.
This is Chris McCarthy. This is the Chris McCarthy Show. Alexis, turn down the volume, okay?
Right? And you follow up that lunacy, right, with the Facebook page. Let me talk about the Facebook page where the marriages, right, the fake marriages, we call them queer marriages,
okay,
where they're going to be at risk, right? And,
I don't think Trump's going to bother with any of that stuff. I don't think Trump's got bigger things to do.
Well, he's got little people surround him. You know, look at this unofficial co-host, Sam. Who could be a better unofficial co-host? Sam aspires to high things. Co-host for the Chris McCarthy Show. This is terrific. It's always great to hear Sam, but here's the danger, right?
All right.
See, Sun Tzu said that after you defeat your enemy, you must destroy your enemy. You have to destroy this lunacy. These people have to be destroyed, not defeated and said, "Oh, let's get together." No, look at the lunacy they created. You know how many millions of idiots voted for a communist, dark-skinned lady who got her place through fellatio with Willie Brown in San Francisco. Examine where you are. Don't relish this victory. Look at the other side of the coin.
Do you think Trump will prosecute the Bidens?
Doesn't matter. It's the lunacy of your fellow men. Look around you. Go to the mall today. Look around you. And then you won't sleep tonight when you assess what what kind of condition the Vox Populi is, right? And they call you up every once in a while. You got a sense of this.
Yes.
Sometimes they meet you in public places and try to kiss you.
That's true. You did try to kiss me, Ferris. I'm glad that you just moved yourself into the lunatic column because I've had you there for a moment, but I do love it.
How about Knuckleheads? Let's get together at Knuckleheads.
If you'll be there, I'll be there. If you're buying, I'll be there.
Ferris Freud checking in from Up Island, Martha's Vineyard, where I met Alfred Eisenstadt, greatest photographer that ever walked, at the Granary Gallery. It was his final show. It was to be his final show, and I studied under him for a short time at that gallery. And he said, I told him I knew the sailor in his very famous picture called The Kiss. You know, what is it about kisses? You know, kissing you might have been fun.
You'll never know when it comes to me, but you did try, which I got to give you points for courage.
The tenderness of kisses that only certain women can provide. And so the picture he took at Times Square on VJ Day is called The Kiss. The sailor found a nurse walking by and laid one on her with his girlfriend nearby. She's in the photo. his girlfriend's in the photo. So I said to the photographer, I said, Eisenstadt, I know George Mendonça of Newport to be the sailor in that photo.
Mm-hmm.
And Eisenstadt, being of the nationality that he is, he said, oh, no, we haven't. We've had a lot of claims to pay people for that photo, but no one's ever proven. Look at the tattoo on the back of his hand. Google Eisenstadt's photography. If you want to enrich your life today while you're celebrating, if possible. And I say Viva Trump. That means long live Trump. How long will Trump live? How long will he make it to Inauguration Day? What? That's
my question, Ferris. Thanks for the call, my friend, as always. That is my big concern. That is my big concern. Now, the spirit of Thanksgiving is here at WBSM. We want to help local families celebrate together with our Hunger Heroes food drop. So for 32 years, we've been collecting food to benefit the United Way of Greater New Bedford's Hunger Heroes Project. So you can join us at Aldi in Dartmouth on Saturday, November 16th from 10 a.m. to noon to donate the necessary Thanksgiving items. You can find all those details at WBSM.com. Hunger Heroes Food Drop is made possible by our friends at Is Schwartz Appliance, First Citizens Federal Credit Union, Carefree Homes, and Aaron Pools and Spa. So that'll be great. I hope to see everybody there at Hunger Heroes Food Drop. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Hi, Chris. How you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
Just a couple quick opinions on the election. First of all, Kamala Harris made a terrible mistake by picking Tim Walz. Yes. She would have won Pennsylvania if she had gone with Shapiro, and that was a big mistake on her part. Number 2 prediction, I'm looking into my glass ball.
All right.
And I believe Clarence Thomas will resign as a judge in the next year or two, maybe. And so they can allow Donald Trump to pick his successor for that seat.
Very wise. I think that's true.
Yeah, that would have been 4 picks. The other thing is, yesterday when I called the mayor and suggested that a civilian volunteer with the police department could help process licenses, and he poo-pooed the idea, saying you can't do background checks. Who do you think does them at gun shops? They do background checks every time someone buys a gun. And that guy's a civilian, and they could be licensed and trained, possibly. And they have if the person who's volunteering and working side to side with the firearms officer will have a gun permit himself. He's not going to screw up because he'll lose his gun license.
So I think you did a good job by bringing that to the mayor's attention, because I think he'll rectify that situation pretty quickly. I don't think he'll use civilians. I think they'll figure it out and they'll get that process moving. But I think you did a great job yesterday bringing that to the mayor's attention.
Thank you, Chris. With that, I'll let you go, pal.
Thank you, my friend, as always. So they're having a bit of a, they got problems at the police department with staffing and all the rest of it. And they apparently are like the slowest community in Massachusetts for processing gun applications. But I think that when that gentleman called the mayor yesterday here on this program, told him about it, the mayor said, hey, I didn't know anything about it. So hopefully, and I know the mayor will get that straightened out. I'm very confident in that. Anyway, folks.